WT6. This is Heartland Focus.
Good morning. Good morning. As you can see, I got my mask on. Tim Clark, host of Heartland Focus. Welcome, you guys. It's important that we continue to practice caution as really trying to be as safe as possible. I'm aboard my Branson Cognac mask. Mr. 50 Cent is going to be in town this Wednesday. He's going to kind of Nebraska takeover. But there's some good in it. We'll talk about that later on. But as you can see, I got my poncho on representing Cinco de Mayo. It's been a fun, festive weekend. So I wanted to just end the weekend with my poncho in celebration of Cinco de Mayo. Really, some people are like, what is Cinco de Mayo? And from my understanding, is really a celebration of the victory in terms of a battle over France. And so there was born Cinco de Mayo out of the celebration of their victory in the battle against France. So with that, I just wanted to just a happy Cinco de Mayo weekend, and I love my poncho. I use my poncho sometimes, actually to smoke in. A bad habit that I gotta try to improve. We have election coming up Tuesday, May 11th. And so I asked Brian Cruz with Douglas County Election Commission to stop by and kind of give us the ones and twos, and hopefully this will be able to stimulate more people choosing to activate their right to vote. So I want to welcome at this time, Brian. Welcome back, man.
Thanks. Thank you for having me. We appreciate it. Yep, one more election to go here.
And then we can kind of rest a little bit, right?
We can. Yes, it looks like the candidates are already off and running for 2022, but we'll let them do their thing and we'll rest.
Yeah. Well, okay, so we have the general election that's going to take place this Tuesday. Let's talk about really what people should know. And one of the things, as you talk about that, Brian, also address if someone has never voted before, is it too late for them to vote on Tuesday?
Absolutely. So I'll start off first by saying, going to your point of still wearing the mask. We know a lot of people in our community have been vaccinated, but if you're going to the polling place on Tuesday, we'll have all the same precautions in place that we had last year and in the primary. And we're asking voters, please wear a mask to the polling place or use one of ours that we'll have available just to keep everybody safe. So that'd be the first thing. Polls will be open from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Now, if you've already got a ballot by mail and it's sitting on your table or your desk or in your car, we just really encourage you to get that ballot turned in this weekend. Get it turned in by Monday, because all the ballots that are turned in through Monday will be counted, and those will actually be the first results on election night at 8 p.m. So if you got that ballot, get it voted, sign the back of it, and please take it to one of our drop boxes now. Please do not use the mail. We just can't guarantee with the lag time in the mail that it'll get there. If you have never voted before, if you are a registered voter, you can show up at your polling place and you can vote on Tuesday. If you're not sure if you're registered to vote or you're not sure where to go on Tuesday, call our office at 444-VOTE and we'll let you know. Or you can always show up at your polling place and do what we call a provisional ballot, and then we'll do the research behind the scenes. But it's really best if you call us first, because we can get you going in the right direction and really help you.
Now, so what if they're not registered?
So if they're not registered to vote, unfortunately, they can't vote in this election. State statute or state law says they had to have been registered by the deadline, and that's passed. But if you're not registered to vote for this election, we just encourage you to get registered to vote because there's other elections coming up next year.
So, Brian, in terms of the election, what's in your estimation, what's exciting about this election that's in front of us in terms of that should cause people to come out and vote?
Absolutely. I would say the big races in this race are actually your city council races. The odd districts for sure, 3, 5, and 7, but 2, is exciting. All of the city council races. I mean, we've been reading about them in the paper. We've seen them on the TV. There were several that were decided by less than 100 votes in the primary. So these city council races are really exciting. And that's really what's going to shape, rules and regulations in the future of our city moving forward. Sure, the mayor can have his or her agenda, but the city council puts forth an agenda too. And if they've got enough votes, they can always override the mayor. So, the mayor is important. We have 2 exciting candidates. But man, these city council races are really going to be something to watch.
Yeah, I agree with you. When you think about just in terms of just the nuts and bolts and how you operate a city, and the city council controls a lot of policies, procedures. They do city ordinance. And so leadership matters. And I think what are you thinking, what are you anticipating as far as the turnout, Brian?
Sure. So, we are looking for 35% turnout in the city election. We're historically 30% in a general. Now, 4 years ago, when Heath Mello ran against Mayor Stothard, it was 35%. I think it'll be 35% again. We had a bump in the primary. Historically, we're about 20% in the primary, but we ended up at 28.5%. So I'm really looking for that 35%. And of course, we always challenge the voters. Prove us wrong in the right direction. We're ready for you.
Now, talk again in terms of just if people give us a recap of what's happening as far as drop boxes. Hopefully, they've already dropped it. Based on just you previously being on the show, giving it enough time. And so with it being Tuesday, what would your recommendation as it relates to if somebody are trying to contemplate if they're going to use a drop box with this short timeline?
Right. So there's no question in my mind. If you still have your ballot at home, use a drop box. There's 13 of them around the county. They're safe. They're secure. They're emptied every day. And, you can mail your ballot, but in the state of Nebraska, postmarks do not count. And so at this juncture, at this point, the safest, most direct route to get your ballot to us is to use a drop box. Because once you put it in that drop box, it's essentially the same as being in our possession.
Yeah. And long as it's in the drop box by Tuesday
at 8 p.m. It's just like when the polls close at 8 o'clock.
The drop box is closed.
The drop boxes are the same as if you were going to a polling place. If there's a line, if you go to a drop box and there's a line of cars, as long as you're in that line by 8 o'clock, you will be allowed to deposit your ballot in the drop box.
Now, so that do you have staff monitoring those drop boxes? So you'll have.
So what we do on election evening is we have two individuals of differing parties will leave our office about 7:15, and they'll take a secure bag with them, ballot receptacle with the seal on it. And they'll go out there and they'll wait by those drop boxes. And so then right at 8 o'clock, they will empty them and then lock the drop boxes. And then they'll bring them back to the office.
So you have two individuals of different parties. So like a Republican, Democrat.
That's right. We use some nonpartisans. Occasionally we'll use a libertarian. There's not too many of those, but it's historically, majority is Republican and Democrat, but there are, 25% of registered voters are nonpartisans now.
So that number, is that number, are you seeing that number growing?
Absolutely. That's by far the biggest, you might say, party or non-party that's growing. And I think it's because people either like or dislike some of both of the two major parties.
Yeah, and Brian, that's where I fought. Just share a little bit. I've been a lifelong Democrat, but I believe in some things that Republicans are doing as well. So I changed my party to independent, nonpartisan, just so. I mean, what a beautiful place to be where you can get the best of both worlds. Get a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And, I love it.
That's right. And it's important to remember, city elections by the charter are nonpartisan. There will be no party affiliation on the ballot when you get it.
Yeah.
Or when you go to the polls on Tuesday. It was the top two vote getters. So, you're voting for the best person for the job, which you should do anyhow, but especially in this case. This truly is a nonpartisan election.
There you go. Hey, we're going to take a break, Brian. When we come back, I want you to kind of just give them some safety tips as people are out there, and we just never know. But let's talk about Tuesday, if they need help with something, the phone calls and all that kind of thing. So give us more information about that day. Stay with me, and we'll be right back. Hey, welcome back to Heartland Focus. I'm your host, Tim Clark. As you can see, got my poncho on in recognition and celebrating Cinco de Mayo. I had a great weekend, and for the ones that just don't know, Cinco de Mayo really is a celebration of the Mexican army defeating the French in 1862 in the U.S. Civil War. 1862. So big ups in terms of my Latino brothers and sisters in that celebration. Hey, I want to get back to Brian Cruz with the Douglas County Election Commission. We got a big election coming up Tuesday, May 11th. So that day, just the kind of high level, what, when, where, safety tips. Safety first. Talk to me, my man.
Absolutely. So polls will be open from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Polling places are identical to the ones from 5 weeks ago in the primary. No polling place changed. If you have any questions at all, please call our office at 444-VOTE. We will have the phones on from 7:30 a.m. to 8:30 p.m., or you can go to our website at votedouglascounty.com. The one thing that's very important is if you're at your polling place, say you make a mistake on your ballot, you want to vote for somebody different, or you think something's wrong with your ballot, you have any problem at all, please go back to the poll workers there or call our office before you deposit your ballot in the ballot box. We can help you if you contact us beforehand. But once your ballot's in the ballot box, it's a secret ballot. And so we have no way of retrieving your ballot.
So let's talk a little bit. That's good information, Brian. That's great. Let's talk a little bit about really the costs of the vote in terms of just people that have come before us, Brian, and died and sacrificed for that vote, that right to vote. Talking about that, because I think you're saying we're estimating, that's kind of like looking down, you're coming out of your house, looking left and right down the block, and you said 35% of what you're hoping for will make decisions.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
We need more people to get out and vote and participate.
If you walk out your front door and look to your right and look to your left, and you think I'm the one out of the three that's going to vote, it's kind of sad, really.
And it's kind of sad, and it's kind of scary.
Very much
because what we're saying, and that's why I think that's why our democracy is so fragile, because the lack of participation and civil responsibility taken out of our schools, or we don't see it in a very present way in our school, where we start at a younger age. We will, if you don't study it, if you don't become versed in it and be able to live it, it will break.
Well, absolutely. And I think one of the very important things to remember, and I think one of the very important things that the pandemic has taught us is, these elections, most elections are every 4 years. And you're not just necessarily electing your elected officials for those representing you for issues that are facing us today. There's issues that we don't even know exist, such as the pandemic, that we will be relying on these individuals for. So it's important that you get out and vote for people that have the same values and the same ideas and the same thoughts that you have.
Yeah.
Who would have ever thought 2 years ago that these folks we elected 4 years ago would be working on the mask mandate? And who knows what lies forward in the next 4 years.
That's right. And I think in the last 4 years, I don't know about you, Brian, we had firsthand right in front of us the fact that, leadership matters, and we vote people in, regardless of your party. Leadership matters, and like you said, I think you're setting these elected officials. They set your policies. Mm-hmm. They're writing bills that determines how you're governed, and practices. That's huge. So when you begin to think about behaviors and things that you dislike or like, people that we put in office, we empower them to represent us in terms of our likes and dislikes.
That's absolutely right. And especially on the local level, our everyday lives, swimming pools, roads, parks, the convention center, libraries, you name it. I think you can make an argument that these local elections are some of the most important elections that people will vote on, because they truly, truly affect your lives every day. When you're driving down the street every day, taking the bus, riding your bike, walking, you can look around and see something that's affected by the mayor and the city council every day you leave your front door.
That's right. And I think sometimes, man, we just wake up and so focus on what's in front of us that we forget that, and become numb to what's happening, and then not realizing that there is a person that we put in office that at least supposed to be working on how do we make things better for you, right? How do we make better city services, trash removal, snow removal, policing, lots that are overgrown. That's the quality of life, the quality of living, Brian.
That's absolutely right.
That's right.
Absolutely right.
So, hey, thank you so much. If you want to leave us with something, a final thought, I want to thank you for your service and what you're doing to make sure people have access to those ballots and doing it right.
Well, thank you very much. And I just leave you with a quick thought. If you requested an early voting ballot and you still got that ballot at home or in your car, be sure and sign the back of it, get it turned in this weekend or get it turned in on Monday. You have until 8 p.m. Tuesday, but as soon as you're ready to make your decision, get that ballot turned in. And if you didn't request an early voting ballot, go to your polling place on Tuesday, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Any questions or concerns, please call us at 444-VOTE. We are here to serve you, the voters of the city of Omaha.
Hey, right on, man. Thank you again. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to wrap up with a celebrity, a big-time celebrity is coming to the Heartland, really for something good. And so I'll tell you more about that. Stay with me. I'll be right back. Hey, welcome back to Heartland Focus. I'm your host, Tim Clark. Hey, we got a big celebrity that's going to be coming to Omaha, to the Heartland. My man, 50 Cent, rapper, mobile, film producer, just an unbelievable entertainer that has done just some awesome things in terms of his career. He's coming to Omaha. He's launching a brand called Branson Cognac, and he's hosting a dinner at Champions Run. He's hosting, presented by Daddy Talks and Taste of Heaven mobile restaurant. And so a portion of the proceeds will go to support the work of feeding the hungry, and also efforts around fatherless individuals with author Tony Sanders' Daddy Talks. And so it's going to be a great intimate night. A lot of just to be that up close and very personal with 50 Cent. It's going to be an opportunity of a lifetime. So you can go online there, Eventbrite, and get tickets. There's going to be limited seating, so I would act like now if you want to make sure that you're in that room. That's Wednesday, May 12th, Champions Run. And he's also going to be at Stocks and Bonds later on that night, Stocks and Bonds, and then Hy-Vee is he's going to be doing a showing at one of the Hy-Vees, I believe Peony Park Hy-Vee on Cass. But all that information is online where you can get that information. But 50 Cent, this Thursday we have Moving People to Action. And so what we're going to do there is this is going to focus on, last month we did minority health. The screen will be updated, and we're going to focus on our young people, brain drain. And so it's going to be facilitated by Gerald Kuhn, and a special guest will be joining him to have a real conversation about brain drain and what we need to do to stop it and be able to keep and nurture our talent right here in the Heartland. So go to our page, social media, Moving People to Action, and like our page, or find us on Facebook, MP, the number 2, Action, mptoaction.com, and hang out with us, okay? You guys, this election is coming up, just wrapping up, May 11th, Tuesday. Particularly District 2, is so important that you activate your vote. It is time that we give the attention, the resources, and the commitment to North Omaha that resides in District 2. It's time for North Omaha to win, and to win big. There's a lot of initiatives going on, the Empowerment Network, hats off to that team there, Willie Varney. The governor is taking on, they announced and put an office in North Omaha. Tony Goins and his leadership team, Trayvon Brooks. Metro Community College, Urban League, 100 Black. There's a lot of organizations that are doing some unbelievable work. But it's time that we do it collectively as a city, as a state, and give North Omaha the attention and the resources that it really needs to be able to live and get up and get out. That's all for this episode of Heartland Focus. Make today the beginning of your best year yet. Go out there, hug somebody from afar, do your dance to your beat. Your dance to your beat. Be safe, wash your hands, social distance, wear your mask when it's appropriate. I'm your host, Tim Clark. Until next time, take the time to be good to yourself. It makes it so much easier to be good to others. I'm out.